All right, good morning, Blab Dads. We are finally here at Silver Glen Springs. We just pulled up, and so I'm going to go ahead and take you on a tour. This is the parking lot right here. So just to give you an idea of where we are in terms of a map, we are about 6 miles north of Astor. 6 miles north of Astor, Florida. So our ride down to Silver Glen Springs was taking Jacksonville to 95, then to US 1. We stopped at Chick-fil-A, as you saw in the first video. And then US 1 to 11, and then 11 to 40, and then the 40 to 19. So if you look on the map of all the numbers that I just mentioned, and then you go north 6 miles from 40, which turns in, 40, which turns into 19. We went over the bridge in Astor, which is St. John's River. And that St. John's River leads all the way up to here to Silver Glen Springs, 6 miles from there. So we just unpacked the car. The accommodations here are a little bit different than some other springs I've been to. They usually have a changing room and a building where you could change as well as take a shower and obviously do your business. But here, they got our friends, the porta potties. So it's not as glamorous as some of the other springs that we went to, such as Alexander Springs and Gilchrist Blue Spring. So it's a little bit more rural, as I could say. So anyway, so as we pulled up, there wasn't someone to greet us and go ahead and pay. So they actually have a building over here, and I'm going to turn it. So it shows the picnic, the swimming area, and this is the check-in station. So it's $5.50 a person, and then kids under 5 years old, they are free. They have an ice machine as well as a compressor. And then you walk downhill, and as you're walking downhill, it's a little bumpy right here, so you got to watch, especially if you're carrying stuff. Luckily, we had a wagon, so this could get really dicey. So you got to be very careful as you're walking down. So you can't see the springs from here as you're walking. So of course they have the Protect the Spring sign. And then you end up being here. So this area surrounds the entire springs itself. When you go to the left over here, we're set up just about, I'd say 20-25 feet away from the actual entrance itself. There's nice wide open spaces underneath the trees. You see plenty of picnic tables all around. There's a pavilion. The neat thing about this is I love this part. So this is a restoration project in progress where they're trying to build up the dunes, and they've got this nice secure barrier so people aren't trampling through the woods just to get to the springs. There's only one entrance to the springs, and it's over there, and I'll show you a little bit. Then you walk this way, and it goes all the way around until it stops, until you see Springs Boyle Trail, and I'll take you down there as well. So let's go down to where we're at. When we got here, it was about 8:15-ish, and there was only 3 people in the water. I'm an early bird gets the worm person. I live by that because living and working at Disney, if you've ever been to the parks, if you go to the parks really early and you go to the back of the park and then come forward, that's the way they enjoy it. Down. So here's the one entrance. It's very narrow. My first daughter's already out there. She's got the green noodle out there, and so she's swimming. Let me go ahead and magnify. There she is right there. So they've got manatees around here, which is pretty cool. So here's the entrance right here. The spring is right over here to the right. There's my daughter. And then the buoys over here demarcate where the swimmers can swim, and then there's boats. There's a whole bunch of houseboats you can't see from here, so I'm going to go to the other entrance. So plenty of trees where people can settle. We picked a great spot right here, so from our view right to the entrance. Perfect. So they have a canoe launch area, which I'm going to check out right now. And they've got volleyball net right here. So let's head out to the canoe launch, see what that's like. So you can rent canoes over here and get on the St. Johns River. There are bears here, so that's why they have the trash cans that are very, very secure. So as I said before, there are manatees in this area. And so as I turn, you're going to see a ton of houseboats as well as other boats. And so they're checking out the river on their side. There we go. So here we are early in the morning, and people are in the water and enjoying themselves.
This one ain't getting in the water.
Yes, sir. So, as I said before, or I haven't said before, but so the fish that are in the water are fresh as well as salt water. So there's a ton of mullet that's jumping all over the place. It's very, very clear. Here are my feet, and look how clear that is. Super clear. The water is just clear as day. And that's the kayak launch. All right, so we're gonna head back to our spot so we can check it out. There's a trail over here. Oop, I apologize. So that's one of the trails over here, and on the opposite side is another trail, which I mentioned before, which is Springs Boyle. Later on, we're gonna take a trip as we walk down to that springs over there. They've got small and large boils at the end of the trail that we're going to take a look at. All right, so we're back in our area, and now we're gonna hit the springs. So we're gonna take a look at the springs and check it out, and then I'm gonna take a video and show you where we are at Silver Glen Springs. Okay, Blad Dads, if you like what you see right now, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. If you've ever been here before, tell me about your experience. Don't forget the notification button, hit the bell on there, and we'll see you in the next video in the springs.